In a world filled with shortcuts and false promises, clients, your potential clients, are desperate for real, authentic guidance. But again, they're bombarded every single day by flashy ads, and they really just don't know who to trust. The level of skepticism out there in this day and age is so much higher than it's ever been before. And so what we're going to be talking about today is extremely important for you to actually register, understand, and take action on, okay? So you can stand out from the crowd. So the big question is, how do health experts like you and I generate more income, impact more people, and create businesses that work around their lifestyle and serve their family at the highest possible level? If you want the answer to that question, then you're in the right place at the right time. Whether you're a dietitian, a nutritionist, or a nutrition coach, this is for you. My name is Dr. Javier Carlin, and I want to welcome you to the Practice Revolution. We are a movement that is revolutionizing the way private practices are built so you can practice on your terms. So go ahead and join us and follow along as we learn, apply, and share the top business growth strategies that we're using to grow our own business and to help you grow yours, using only the best insights and advice from top industry leaders. So thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the show. And so for those of you that are like, who is this guy, and are new to the group, my name is Dr. Javier Carlin. I'm a physical therapist. My wife, Marissa, is a dietitian, and together we're the co-founders of the Practice Revolution. The Practice Revolution helps dietitians and nutrition coaches to build their business, start, grow, and scale. So if you're thinking about starting, we can help you. If you've started but are looking to gain some traction, we can help you as well. And if you already have some traction, you're rocking it, but want to take it to that next level, that's where we come in as well. And so what are we talking about today? And why is it important for you? Okay. What I want to share with you are three reasons why the influencers are beating you and what to do about it. Okay. So I want to ask you, have you ever felt like you're overshadowed by nutrition influencers, where they're all over social media, they've taken up the space, and it feels like it's a bit crowded out there, but you have these big influencers who have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers, yet you know inside your heart that you have more knowledge, more experience, you have a deeper expertise, right? And you know, for a few years now, and even more recently, I feel there's been more diet pills and more quick fix solutions that are continuing to gain popularity, with influencers raving about their miracle effects, and many times without any scientific basis, right? You've gone through the nutrition science, you understand it, and none of the claims that they're making are actually factual. So it's a bit frustrating, right? And so in a world filled with shortcuts and false promises, clients, your potential clients, are desperate for real, authentic guidance. But again, they're bombarded every single day by flashy ads, and they really just don't know who to trust. The level of skepticism out there in this day and age is so much higher than it's ever been before. And so what we're going to be talking about today is extremely important for you to actually register, understand, and take action on, okay? So you can stand out from the crowd. So the question then is, well, I understand it's time to cut through the noise, but how do I actually do it? How do I actually make sure that people are coming to me instead of those influencers with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers? And so one of the first things that we have to understand is what's actually at play here. How are they actually doing it? So if you guys are excited to find out why these influencers are beating you and what you can start to do about it today, so let's go ahead, let's dive in, all right? There are three key reasons that the influencers are beating you, okay? Number one, they have a strategy, okay, a power strategy that they harness daily. Okay, I'm going to break down in a moment what that is. Number two, they've got some content hacks that you've probably overlooked. They've got some content hacks that may seem normal, right? And just pretty bland to the naked eye, but they're extremely powerful. And number three, they also have had some major mindset shifts that they've mastered that has allowed them to propel themselves to that next level. Okay. And so here's a reality, right? Many of you don't like these influencers. Many of you get pissed off at them. And I understand that, right? Because I have a doctorate of physical therapy myself. And when I see other people trying to do the things that I spent 7 years of schooling to learn to do, right? It's a little bit frustrating. But after that anger, after that frustration, we have to realize, you know what? I may know more about them in my expertise, but they might know a little bit more about marketing and really getting in front of the people that they want to serve. And there's still some of them are actually helping people. And so then we have to step out of that anger and start to think, okay, well, what can I learn from this, right? What can I take from what they're doing and do it in my own way and do it so that I can reach hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people too, because many of us can just sit back there and kind of just complain all day about these dang influencers, or we can step up to the plate and actually do something about it. So how many of you are ready to actually do something about it? Okay, put a 1 in the chat if you're ready. All right, so number one, what is the power strategy that they harness daily? Why does their audience trust them? And how can you build that same credibility? It's one word and one word only, okay? It's trust, okay? It's trust. There are different levels of trust, okay? Number one, they have trust in themselves to show up daily. And because they have trust in themselves and they show up daily to their audience, guess what happens? It builds trust in their audience. It builds trust in the people that they serve. Because think about this, right? If you trust in yourself to show up daily and you do, and your audience realizes, man, this person is actually truly there for me, right? Every single day, they're providing value. Every single day they're there. That's how they're going to perceive you're going to be when they start working with you. And so the trust that you want to develop with your audience has to start with trust in yourself to show up daily for the people that you say you want to help, okay? And so what this looks like is you being able to communicate with the people you want to serve daily. Now, here's what's cool about this day and age, right? In this day and age, yes, you can have one-to-one conversations and that's still great, right? But what's beautiful about this day and age is that you're also able to have one-to-many conversations where you record one video, you put out one post, you do, one reel as an example, okay? And you're able to reach hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people with one piece of effort, okay? And so you have to be able to communicate one-to-many with your audience daily, okay? Now, the second component of this strategy that they're harnessing of building trust, okay, is that they show people into their lives, right? They provide insights into their personal life. They show people that they're also human, okay? And when you show someone that you're human, that you're just like them, what does that create? It creates a bond, right? It creates a bond. And so this ends up building relationships, right, with their followers, okay? And continues to build trust, showing that they're just being a real human being that also has challenges, that also has problems, but they've been able to figure out this one thing and they want to help them with that too, right? And so in order to build trust with people, they have to also like you and get to know you, right? It's the reason that you trust, maybe one of your favorite family members, or you trust your friend, right? And maybe you trust that one doctor that has actually listened to you and built a relationship with you, right? Name one person in your life right now, put it in the chat that you really, really trust, right? That you're like, this is my go-to, I can depend on this person for anything. Right? You don't have to put their actual name if you don't want to, but is it your mom? Is it your, uncle, significant other, your dog, your hamster, right? Who is it that you trust? And what about that person has made you trust them? Is it because you talk to them daily? Is it because you see them often? Is it because they show up for you when you need them? Because you build a relationship with them? Can you see how all those reasons are probably the reasons that you trust them? Well, guess what? How do you build trust with your audience? You do the same thing. You do the same thing. Okay? So what we have to understand, because I see many of you try and make, especially early on, does not mean that it doesn't work long term, but early on, right? Many of you are trying to promote your business brand, your business brand, your business brand. I got to tell you this, right? The biggest companies in the world, like Apple, initially when they first started, was it Apple that people wanted to listen to and care about, or was it Steve Jobs? Right? They built Apple under the name of Steve Jobs, an influencer, so to speak, right? So you have to start to build a personal brand, especially when you're starting and not a business brand. Right now, Apple is recognized, right, as a major brand, but it took a person to get them there. Okay. So what I want to advise you to do, which is what the influencers are doing, is they're not promoting their business first. They're promoting themselves first, and they're speaking to the problems, the frustrations, the aspirations, the dreams that their audience has. And when they do the combination of those things, they build a connection, they build that trust, and that's why they're winning. That's why people are going to them instead of you. Can you guys see that? Right? And so that's number one. Okay. Number one is the power strategy that they harness daily, which is building trust. Okay. Sounds overly simplistic, but how many of you know that maybe you're not showing up like you know you should? Right. And so if you're not doing that, then that's extremely important for you to do. Okay. Number two, these are the content hacks, okay, that you've probably overlooked that these big influencers are actually doing every day. Okay. So I want to share with you the psychology behind their content creation that keeps followers hooked. Okay. So what they do is they found a specific niche, right? They found a specific niche. So I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy. His name's Brandon Carter. I think he calls himself the Keto King, right? The Keto King. And so he's branded himself as this Keto King, and that's all he talks about. And he gets a lot of people very angry. And then there's the other half of people that are like, yes, all on board, right, with his methodologies, right? And this guy has millions of followers, okay? And so even outside of the nutrition space, right, we've got influencers who talk about makeup, fashion, lifestyle, and family content, pranks. Some of them talk about stocks and how to invest, right? And so they know what their audience wants in those different types of things. Maybe the people who talk about makeup, right, do product reviews. They talk about new product releases, fashion, what's going on in New York Fashion Week, right? Red carpet events. They do reviews of all the celebrities' clothing, right? And so these people, these influencers, decide what their niche is going to be. Maybe it's fashion, maybe it's makeup, and that's all they talk about, right? And relate it to things that are going on in the world, okay? And so, for example, I have a friend, his handle is CEO Watch List. And so he tells people what multimillionaires and billionaires are investing their money in, right? What stocks they're investing their money in. And so they basically, all they do is talk about stocks. All they do is talk about what multimillionaires and billionaires are investing their money in and show people that so that they can do the same thing. Okay. And that's all they talk about, but they decided what their niche was going to be, and they hammered the point home. Right. And so one thing that we have to realize, because all of us being in healthcare, all of us wanting to help people, we're really nice and generally want to stay pretty neutral. The reality is that these influencers, one of the things that they do is they create content that drives conversations. And so they do this a little bit differently though, right? What they do is they create content that drives conversations that might also be slightly controversial, okay? Because here's the deal. If you're too middle of the road, if you're too neutral, you get kind of boring, right? You get drowned out from all this breaking news on these news channels, or, you know, big things that people are saying are happening around the world. Now, I'm not one to fall into that, but the reality is that the news is as big as it is for a reason. People like what's new. People like controversy. Literally, we've separated half of the world into Republicans and Democrats, right? And these people get along day to day, but when it comes to voting for a president, right, there's resistance there. And so what you have to do is you don't have to be the one creating the controversy. You can say, hey, I just saw that this person was talking about this subject when it comes to keto, right? Or when it comes to fat loss. And I think that's BS. Or, hey, new study shows that people who are taking Ozempic are 80% happier with their results, right? Or they're losing, 80 pounds in 8 weeks. I don't know, something crazy, right? Like that's a big thing that's happening right now. And you can say the dangers of like how people are risking their life by taking this quote unquote miracle fat loss drug, right? And so that's a catchy headline, a little bit of controversy around it. And you can say, here are my thoughts, or here's what this story says. What do you think? Right? So you just have to place yourself in the middle of the conversation that's already happening. Okay. And so here's the reality, right? Many of us don't like to be controversial. I, for one, it's really hard for me to do that. I'm a pretty, neutral, kind person. I don't like to stir the pot a bit, but it is something that builds a stronger fan base. It builds a stronger brand because yes, you'll have some people that disagree and argue with you, but on the other side of that, you'll also have some people that are like, yes, 100%, I agree. And those are the people that are going to want to work with you anyway. As long as you're true and authentic to yourself and what you're already thinking, and you just say it, there's going to be other people thinking and saying the same thing. Okay. So think about it, right? In politics. Okay. Love them or hate them. Those that are running for presidency are controversial. They have strong opinions either way. And guess what? Half of the people in the world hate them and they still become president. Crazy, right? Crazy. And so I want you to think about how can you create that in your own industry? How can you stir the pot a little bit and be a little controversial? Okay. Number three, the mindset shifts that they've mastered. Okay. Mindset shifts they've mastered. Number one is many of these people, these influencers, have actually focused on building an audience first and then monetizing it. Okay. Now, they understand that the audience comes before the money. Here's what I'll say to that. That is partially true. The audience is important. However, with the right business model and the right structure, the right offer, the right marketing and sales process, you could make a really, really good chunk of change with a small audience. Okay. As you can probably see in this community, we only have about 2,900 people. We've changed a lot of lives. Okay, impacted a lot of people, but it's still relatively small in the grand scheme of things, right? Where these influencers, these big influencers have, again, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. So you can really make a real change with a smaller audience, but you still need an audience nonetheless, okay? And so what they realize is that they're playing the long game, okay? It is not an overnight success, and they understand that. And I see many people in our space, right, in healthcare, dietitians and nutrition professionals, they put up a few posts for a few weeks or a few months or even a year and expect, to have all this crazy success. And some people do, right? But for others, it might take a little bit longer. But if you think about it, The Rock, right? The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, right? He's been in the game for a while. When he was a wrestler, he was making like 30 to 40 bucks an hour, right? After 20, 30 years, he's built this brand. He launches a tequila and it's worth, I think, $2.6 billion, right? But he's been building his brand and his personal brand at that for years now. Would you guys be willing to build your personal brand for 10, 20, 30 years if in 30 years you were promised $2.6 billion? Yes or no? Right? If it was guaranteed, would you do it? Okay. And so again, the mindset shift is I need to build an audience, meaning I have to provide value to an audience and get them to want to follow me and learn from me, right? And really focus on serving them first and foremost. And then what's going to happen is many of them are going to ask you, hey, how can I work with you? I love your stuff. I want more. Okay. That's the natural next step. So I want to start to wrap this up with a story. My brother. Okay. My brother, you guys can follow them. They are the Carlin family, I believe, on TikTok. And if you look up the Carlin family on Instagram, you'll find them there as well. So 4 years ago, during COVID, I was in my brother's small apartment in Homestead, like the Miami area. And he's like, Alex. So my middle name is Alex. So they call me Alex. My family calls me Alex. And he's like, Alex, Marissa, we're going to be influencers. We're going to be influencers. TikTok just came out. We're going to start posting on TikTok. This thing is huge. And we want to ride the wave. You guys should do it too. Right. And I was like, I don't want to be an influencer. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. And so they took it serious. Right. 4 years ago, they had their first baby. Her name's Audrey. Right. We were actually at her fourth birthday a couple weekends ago. And so crazy, 4 years ago, right? Fast forward 4 years till today, they've been consistent. They've built trust with their audience, right? They create content that's funny, loving, a little controversial at times, right? Depending on who you are. And they have not just been able to build a following of over 4 million people, okay, on their different channels. They're almost going to hit the 7-figure mark per year. They're almost making $1 million per year. If they don't hit it this year, they're going to hit it next year. Just from using a channel like TikTok and becoming influencers on social media. They get free trips, they get free food, they get free furniture, everything paid for, including what they get paid. Pretty amazing, right? But they realized we need to do this and stick with it for the long haul. Okay. So 4 years from now, you did what they did. You stuck with it and you were able to start making $1 million per year. Would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? Right. And so what you want to realize is that if one piece of content flops, okay, you post something, it flops, don't dwell on it. Okay. Don't dwell on it because they don't. They move on and continue to post more. And they think to themselves, that didn't work. Why didn't it work? And how can I make it better next time? And then they look on the other side of that at the content that does work, and they think, that worked really well. How can I make more of that type of content? And they keep on doing the work. They continue to provide valuable content to their audience. And they get followers, they get people who are interested in what they're doing. They get brands to connect with them and they do brand deals. Some have been upwards of $50,000 for 2 60-minute videos. Sorry, 2 60-second videos. Insane, right? Crazy. But guess what? That opportunity is there for you as well in this space if you seize it, okay? And so to recap, the 3 reasons why influencers are beating you. They have a power strategy that they harness daily in building trust. They've got these content hacks that, again, you've probably paid attention to, but overlooked to use yourself, which is being controversial, slightly controversial, attaching yourself to a latest news story or bringing one up from years ago that relates to what you're talking about. And number 3, they've mastered their mindset. They know it's a long-term game. They're willing to put in the work. They're willing to build their audience because they know that if they continue to do that, they're going to be successful. And I think that's what you want too. So if you're looking for someone to support you, if you're looking for a community to back you up and support you, if you're looking for guidance, okay, on how do I get to that next level in my life, in my business, how do I make more money? Can you show me the path? Can you give me step-by-step instructions on how to get there? Okay. We may have the answers for you. So if you comment the word guide down below, I'll personally reach out to you and we'll go ahead and get on a quick 15-minute call and see if we could possibly help you. If we can, we'll tell you. If we can't, we'll tell you that too. Okay. Got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Hope you all have a Tuesday, a great rest of your week. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.
Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for watching the show. I know your time is super valuable, and I know that you're here to learn how to grow a successful practice. So I have something special just for you. If you are a health expert who is in business or aspiring to be, and you're curious about how to grow a profitable, impactful practice, you're going to want to pay attention. Because as a person who is watching the show, I want you to win. So I've created a bundle of resources exclusively for those who are watching the Practice Revolution. So if you are tired of trying to figure out this game of business, marketing, and sales all on your own, and you're ready to implement what's already proven to work rather than reinventing the wheel, you're going to want to send us a private message on Instagram at The Practice Revolution. And simply just let us know that you watched this show, and we'll personally hand over $7,000 worth of trainings, resources, and coaching that is available only for those who are watching this show on YouTube. So if you want to know how to increase your income, impact, and build a practice that works for the lifestyle that you want and that serves your family at the highest level, send us a private message on Instagram at The Practice Revolution. Do it now so you can win big in your practice and in your life. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next show.